Okay, here we are heading to Little Wild Horse Canyon. It's pretty close to Goblin Valley. You just turn west instead of turn towards Goblin Valley. Here's the parking lot. It's not quite big enough for motorhomes, but you can fit trucks. It's pretty fair-sized parking lot, which is nice. And then here are some toilets at the beginning of the trail that you can use. The trail starts out really wide and it goes through this wash. And you kind of follow that wide pathway until it starts to get a little bit narrow. Here's the entrance where it starts to narrow a little bit. And then there's these cool carved out rock formations that have been eroded through time. And it's like this awesome little maze through this amazing slot canyon. I also saw lots of people there with dogs, so you can bring your dog if you want. But this trail is awesome for kids. See, here's my daughter. She's 3 years old. She hiked almost the whole thing. We had her on our shoulders. If you have kids with you, I'd recommend just doing the section of the hike that goes through the slot canyons. And when it widens back up, then you can turn around and just go back to the parking lot. That would make your hike about 3 miles. But if you want, you can do the entire loop, which takes you up through Bell Canyon. And that entire loop is 8 miles. But once it starts to widen up, it's not as cool when you're not in the slot canyons as much. So my kids like to just do the slot canyon part and then come back to the parking lot, which is super fun. This is the 3rd time we've hiked this canyon. And I've heard that sometimes you can hike it, and if it's during the summer, the spring, or the runoff, sometimes there's puddles in the canyon that you have to walk through. But we've never had that problem. So here's the first big opening where a lot of people gather, and some people turn around here, but we kept going, and it goes even more narrow, and you can see you can kind of climb up on the sides. It's really cool for pictures and stuff. And our older 4 boys, they ran ahead with their cousins, and we didn't see them like the entire hike. They were way far ahead. But you want to keep in mind to try and go to the bathroom before you do this hike, because there's not any places really to go to the bathroom except for in some of the big opening areas. And you don't want to go to the pee in these canyons because it'll make it smell really bad. So here's the second big opening where a lot of people turn around as well. And some people turned around there, but we kept going and it got even more narrow and it had even cooler things to look at. So we kept going, which I thought the 3rd section was the coolest part. Here you can see how it winds a little bit, and there's our little daughter there. And here are these cool formations on the side. I thought it was like we were on a different planet. I just thought it was so cool. So there's one little part here at the end where you kind of have to scramble, see my daughter, but it really wasn't too hard. We were able to climb up to it. So here we are approaching the very last section that opens up, and there you can see a lot of people eating lunch and stuff. But you can keep going and do the whole 8-mile loop. We just finished there and went back, and we had a super fun time. I'd recommend it.